Hello students, welcome to the online mentoring session organized by Board of Studies. Myself, Dr. N.V. Ravi, Faculty, Board of Studies, Subject Quantitative Aptitude. In this section, we are going to discuss the how to prepare the subject Quantitative Aptitude. In this, the strategy for preparation of Quantitative Aptitude subject. Let us come to the disclaimer statement. Please note the disclaimer statement one by one. Further, the important notes: students are advised to refer to the study material, including supplementary study material, if any other materials like in this CPT section. CPT we have the study material along with model test papers provided by the institute. Further, you are required to take the online mentoring sessions also. In this, actually, students are advised to follow the learning management system, which are available in the cloud campus site of ICA. Which is free access. Register with students registration number and start learning immediately. Which is the e-lecture kind of lectures, audio sessions. In addition to that, in cloud campus site, the video lectures for the practical subjects like accountancy and quantitative aptitude also available. Now let us come to the subject CPT quantitative aptitude. In this section, we are going to discuss the strategy for preparation of CPT quantitative aptitude. As you are all aware of, students, the entire subject is 200 marks paper, out of which 100 marks are for the 50% of the qualified examinations. Section A is accountancy, fundamentals of accountancy. Section B is law paper, mercantile law. Section C is economics. Section D is quantitative aptitude. Now, in this quantitative aptitude, which is 50 marks, mathematics part is 25 marks and statistics part is 25 marks. For that, students are need for 30% of marks qualifying the examination, they should be need 15 questions, 15 marks needed to be get in the quantitative aptitude. Not only that, actually overall 50% marks, that means 100 marks is needed to be get qualifying the CPT examination. Now further, you are aware of that there is mathematics chapters as well as the statistics chapters. In the mathematics chapters, overall 9 chapters. Statistics chapters are 7 chapters. Total 16 chapters, and students may feel difficulty in certain topics like differentiation, integration, probability, and permutation and combinations. They may take the frequent concentration of these chapters. They may attempt the examination without any issue. Let us come to the chapter wise and expected questions in the area of mathematics. You know, the first chapter is ratio and proportions, the indices and logarithms. Ratio and proportion expected question is 1 mark and indices is 1 question and logarithmic is one question. And equations here, three categories. One is the unknown values can be found using the quadratic equations. How can be solved? Another one is equations with the help of coordinate geometry. Each one may ask one questions. So three questions. In the inequalities chapter, one question, it is like that the constraints can be right in the form of equations. Whereas interest rates, simple interest, compound interest, and annuity application, one question, or effective rate of interest, one question. Total three questions are expected to come in the examination. And permutation and combinations likely to come four questions. And sequence and series, we have the AP, GP series here. And general sum of first n terms of AP, sum of squares of first n terms of AB, sum of cubes of first n terms of AB. There is category like that, two categories that here, AP, GP. There may be asked like and infinite series also, and three questions may rise. And sets, relations, and functions. Sets one question, relations one question, functions one question. So three questions. Limits and continuity. Limit one question, continuity one question. And differentiation, integration, three questions total chances of getting in the examination. And two questions in the differentiation, or one question in the integration, or one question in the integration and differentiation, or two questions. Like that way, the questions are asked in the examination. So total 5 marks for the mathematics portion. Students may easily fill the topics like sets, functions, relations. They may easily attempt this examination. As well as the inequalities, simply they have to write the constraints based on the questions. And they may attempt the interest rate annuities also, and simple quadratic equation and respective their properties, and ratio and proportions, integers as well as logarithms as well as. Whereas they may feel the problem in the area of limits and continuity and differentiation and integration. Only thing is, my sincere advice to the students is, let us see the study material. What is the limit of the function, and continuity of a function, differentiation of a function, what are the addition, product, and quotient rules, and similarly the applications in integration also. If they thoroughly follow the formulas, they can easily attempt these chapters also. Now let us come to the statistics part. Here, the statistical description of data is the 10th chapter. You all know in this chapter, simple questions like data categories, primary data, secondary data, the classification of the data, tables as well. And further, the presentation of data and frequency distribution, and how the frequency distribution can be determined also. And graphical representation of frequency distribution and OG curves, all these are important. The two multiple choice questions, easy multiple choice questions can be asked in this chapter also. There is no need of calculation of or diagrams or like that. The students have to calculate the simple cumulative frequencies calculations, maybe maximum type of these questions. And you are all aware of the 11th chapter, measures of central tendency, is the very big chapter in the entire study material. If you thoroughly prepare, it may be feel that you have the number of formulas in this actually. My sincere advice is, what are the measures of central tendencies, and what are their properties, and what are the measures of dispersion, and their properties thoroughly. If you read these properties and their formulas and example sums, you can easily attempt these 6 questions easily. And correlation, regression. Here, correlation, there are two kinds of properties. The correlation, regression, there is two concepts here, and you have to thoroughly understand these basic conditions, basic formulas used only. You don't need to calculate the correlation, but you have to find the, or the understand the formula only, and regression also the properties relevant to regression. The 4 questions, if you thoroughly understand the properties, merits, demerits, and formulas, you can easily attempt these 4 questions also. And probability and expected value. Here the probability may ask 2-3 questions, and expected value also we have to find the expected value and variance or standard deviations of a problem. It is also the expected value, and this value can be also easily attempted actually. And theoretical distribution, we have the binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, and normal distributions. And respected properties, you have to thoroughly prepare each property of binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, and normal distribution. And the 4 questions easily attempt from this chapter. And sampling, we have here the simple standard error estimation problems also, with reference to means and proportions are also there. And further, the simple sampling techniques are also there. And with respect to one theory question, one problem questions, and one general questions, may be combined. 2 theory questions may ask. If thoroughly prepare the theory questions in the chapter also, one practical question in the sampling theory, you can easily attempt this chapter. And index numbers, in the chapter of index number also, it is an easy chapter. Students can be easily find out the solutions also, even if in case answers to find also. What is the simple index numbers and construction of index numbers, and use of index numbers, and the deflating of time series using index numbers, and shifting of splicing of index number, and the tests of adequacy, that is semi test, and that is time reversal test, factor reversal test, and circular test. And time reversal test and the factor reversal test satisfies the Fisher's index number, so which is an ideal index number. Fisher's index number is a geometric mean of loss pairs, and Cauchy's index number also. These are the simple repeated questions. Students may just remember this type of questions also and answer very well. And this is an easy chapter. And further, I have been just given the brief idea about the expected questions in chapter wise also. Now coming to the chapter wise, an overview of the ratio and proportions. Just what are the questions may students has to remember chapter wise. I can go the quickly guidance to the each chapter wise. First, students has to remember what is the definition of the ratio. A ratio between two quantities is denoted by A is to B. In this concept further, if there is first term is called antecedent and second term is called consequent actually. And further, the compound ratio of A is to B, C is to D equal to AC is to BD. And the duplicate ratio of A is to B is A square is to B square, and the subduplicate ratio of A is to B is square root of A is to square root of B, and the triplicate ratio of A is to B is A cubed is to B cubed is. Subduplicate means cube root of A is to cube root of B. This is reversed here, but otherwise it is cube root of A is to cube root of B. And further in this chapter, whereas coming to the ratios and proportion, ratios chapter, my sincere advice to the students is they have to understand the concept, what is the ratio, and ratio is as simplified, suppose in a simple the fraction form, and the compound ratio is the product of antecedents into product of consequences. And further, the duplicate ratio, subduplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, subtriplicate ratio are the very important for the examination point of view in this chapter. And further, coming to the proportion topics, proportion means here an equality of two ratios is called proportions. That means if A, B, C, D are said to be in proportions, if A is to B equal to C is to D, this can be written as A is to B is as to C is to D. That is A by B equal to C by D. There is, if we cross multiply this, AD equal to BC, this is called product of extreme equal to product of means, if two things are in proportions. And here we have the properties, the form for the proportions also. And let us come to the one by one. If ABC are in continued proportion, if A by B equal to B by D, then B square equal to AC. This is also very important. Some students may remember this kind of the continued relation problems. They can apply this problem, this formula also. And further, A is to B equal to C is to D, then D is called, if A is to B equal to C is to D, D is called the fourth proportional. Here D is called the fourth proportional. And we have the product of extremes equal to product of mean, also this formula. And B square equal to AC, that is the, if three quantities A, B, C are same kind in the same limit, we called as this. Otherwise, B equal to square root of AC also. And we have here the properties of proportions also there. And like that, A is to B equal to C is to D, then which is equal to AD equal to BC. AD equal to BC. This is called by cross multiplication rule. This is the already we have expressed product of extremes equal to product of means. And second thing is, if A is to B equal to C is to A is to B equal to C is to D, and which can be interchanged also, B is to A equal to D is to C, and this is called invertendo. And A is to B equal to C is to D, just we are exchanging this antecedents, that is A is to T, A is to C, and B is to D. This is called alternando. And if A is this antecedent consequent, and A plus B by A minus A plus B by A, sorry, A plus B by B, and C plus D by C, which is called componendo. And further, dividendo, A by A minus B, B by C minus D. Here both formulas are used, A by A minus B, B by C minus D, which is called dividendo. And we are applied here both the formulas, A plus B by A minus B equal to C plus D by C minus D. which is called componendo and dividendo. Okay. Further here, the problems are like the formulas are 7 properties are given, which is you can refer the study material 1.11, the page. All the properties are also given. Students are carefully follow these formulas. What is the property related to invertendo, alternando, componendo, dividendo, and componendo and dividendo. This formula is applied in the most of the cases of the problems. And now coming to the chapter, next chapter is indices. In this chapter, students are advised to understand the basic laws of indices formulas. That is the basic formula a to the power of m into a to the power of n equal to a to the power of m plus n, a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n equal to a to the power of m minus n, a to the power of m in whole to the power of n equal to a to the power of m, and a to the power of 0 equal to 1, and a to the power of minus m equal to 1 by a to the power of m, and a to the power of 1 by a to the power of minus m can be written as a to the power of m. And like that way, they have to understand the all formulas with the examples also given here, and which is given in the study material also. One should understand all these concepts very well, and further the students can follow the examples based on the using these formulas. How can be possibly developed? You understand this formula. Once you understand this formula, you can easily use this. And most of the cases, the x to the power of 0 equal to 1, and we can have to, this is base, this is called exponent, which is equal to 1. And this is mth root of a can be written as a to the power of 1 by m, xth root of a can be written as x power 1 by 2, root of 4 equal to 2 square equal to 4 to the power of 1 by 2, which is 2. Like that way, students can find. Suppose cube root of 8, a to the power of 1 by 3, 2 to the power of 3, whole to the power of 1 by 3, which is equal to 2 to the power of 3, whole to the power of 1 by 3, and the 3 get cancelled, which is equal to 2. In this chapter also, students has to find using the formulas like this application, and x to the power of 0 equal to 1 finally has to find the solve the examination point of view. Now coming to the chapter logarithms. Here the fundamental laws of logarithm using the logarithm formulas. Here basic, students may feel that this is a difficult chapter actually, but only thing is what is the base. All the bases are here given. That this is called base, and log, this is called product rule here. Log mn base a m into n here, log a m base a plus log n base a, we can split into 2. Log example also given, and if example log of 2 into 3 equal to log 2 plus log 3, log m by n base a equal to log m base a minus log n base a. And here example is log 3 by 2 equal to log 3 minus log 2. Log m power n base a equal to, this is power will be after applying the log, it can be n into log m base a. Suppose the question is log 8 can be written as log 2 to the power of 3, which can be written as 3 log 2. This will come here, and log a base a equal to 1. This is very important. Students has to log 10 base 10 equal to 1, log 2 base 2 equal to 1, log 3 base 3 equal to 1. And log 1 base a equal to 0, log 1 base 2 equal to 0, log 1 base 10 equal to 0. This is also very example. Students must remember these problems. And While applying these logarithms, you have to remember log a base b. Here base is shifting here. Log b base a equal to 1. Log 2 base 3 log into log 3 base 2 equal to 1. Log a base b into log b base c. Simply here we have to shift the log a base c like that. And these are all very important while applying the sums in the base shifting. Log a base b can be written as in the division format log a by log b using same bases, and log a base b can be written as in the inverse order 1 by log b base a by changing their bases. A to the power of log x base a equal to x into inverse logarithm property. This property is called inverse logarithm property. Here, if base is not given, it is understood that it is taken as 10. If log 10 equal to, that means base itself is 10, log 10 base 10, which is equal to 1, log 1 equal to 0. Log 10 base 10 equal to 1, log 1 base 10 equal to 0. This is the difference between log 10 is 1, log 1 is 0. Logarithming using base 10 is called the common logarithmic table, and using the base is called natural logarithmic table. And this is also log e value is 2.33. Students has to remember sometimes the e value also asking the examination. You have to remember this formula, very much used in the examination point of view. So please remember, this is a very important formula you have to remember. And these are the problems which are used in the logarithmic formulas. Now, coming to the chapter, the equations. Generally, in the equation chapter, we have to find the unknown values also. That is, using the method of elimination method as well. But here, as per the examination point of view, the students study the concept, the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation is very important actually. In the case of this, let us come to the point, the equation. What is? If ax plus b equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, this is the first degree. This is x is a variable actually. Here, first degree we call as linear equation. Here, it is mentioned that ax square plus bx mentioned, which is called x square is called the x square term, b is called x square, the slope, x, the parameter of x coefficient, and c is 0. Suppose the constant is 0. This is called quadratic equation, and here this is a cubic equation. And when we want to solve the value of x, that is called x value, ultimately the student aim is to find the unknown value is x. That is the main objective in the equation chapter. It can be solved with the help of equations using the quadratic equation. Suppose first you have to identify the type of equation, whether it is a simple linear equation or quadratic equation or cubic equation. Here most of the equations are just a simple equations, quadratic equations only. As per our CA examination point of view, I am talking. But the properties, coming to the equation, The quadratic equation is a method using that we can solve it if we have the one equation that is simple in equation, we have one root. Then if we have two equations, we have two roots. If we have three equations, that is cubic equation, three roots. Like that way, the roots of the equations will come. Roots means there is the solution for that equation. This is a quadratic equation. In this equation, first we have to find the x value. X value is already I have showed ax square plus bx, ax square plus ax square ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is quadratic equation. And from this, x equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Here, a is called the variable, sorry, a is called the coefficient of x square, b is called coefficient of x, and c is constant. And by applying the values, we can find the values. The students has to remember what are the values of the quadratic equation, that is the two values, that is alpha plus beta, two roots will be coming, and sum of the roots and product of the roots also very important for the examination point of view. And sum of the roots is minus of coefficient of x, minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square, and product of roots equal to c by a, which is constant term by coefficient of x square, constant term by coefficient of x square. Or parameter we can say that, but here we can say that the constant term coefficient of, this is x, the coefficient of x square. These are all coefficients, actually A, B, C are. Okay. Then these are all very important, sum of the roots and product of the roots. Using this, you have to find the values. Students may remember this, using this sum of the roots and the product of the roots, how can we solve the equation also. Further, how to construct the, we can tell after that. Suppose we have the sum of the roots are known and the product of the roots are the known, then equation of the quadratic equation also be constructed. That is x square minus x into minus of b by a plus c by a, which is equal to 0. That means if we know the sum of the roots, if we know the product of the roots, we can construct the equation of the quadratic equation, that is using the formula x square minus x of sum of the roots plus product of the roots. Okay. Here the students are also asked the questions, some of the online students are watching, and thanks for raising the questions. And how many marks can logarithmic questions can cover actually? So the first question is the how many marks can logarithmic questions can cover is already explained to you in the slides itself. There is one question might be coming in the logarithmic chapter, and ratio one question, and proportions one question, logarithmic one question. Please give it next student. Please give some important formulas for calculus. In the next coming slides, I will definitely explain those important formulas which are used for calculus applications also. And students, these are the important questions. One student was asked the question related to the please help to solve it log 10 to base 3. Already these questions has been solved. The important questions has been solved in the study material itself. Answer has given. Or if you want exact solution to this question, you can mail to my ID, that is nvravi@icai.in. I can give the solution to this, and thank you for raising the questions. Further, in a quadratic equation, rational coefficients and irrational coefficients are acquired conjugate pairs, we call as. That is, can be represented as alpha plus or minus beta, and quadratic equation with the real coefficients complex roots occur in the conjugate form, that is alpha plus or minus beta. The other important thing, students are advised to understand the concept like discriminant in the quadratic expression. We have already seen the equation that is called in the minus b in the earlier slide. This portion b square minus 4ac, if you look at x equal to minus b plus or minus b square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Here that means plus one sign and minus another sign. That means two roots are arises. Based on that, the b value, and that is we call it d value, that is called discriminant, we call it as. We can find the nature of the root actually. If b square minus 4ac is greater than or equal to 0, we can say that roots are real and roots are real. If b square minus 4ac equal to 0, we can say that it is greater than 0. We can say roots are real. And if it is less equal to 0, we can say roots are equal. If it is b square minus 4ac is less than 0, roots are imaginary. And if b square minus 4ac is a perfect square which is not equal to 0, the roots are real, rational, and unequal and distinct. And if b square minus 4ac greater than 0 but not a perfect square, the roots are real and irrational and unequal. And b square minus 4ac discriminant, and b square minus 4ac is called discriminant on the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, which is actually discriminant between the roots. And if the sum of the coefficients of the quadratic equation is 0, then x is equal to 1 is a root. For the cubic equation, which is not part of syllabus, students need not worry about this thing here. And we have already given the important tips related to the chapter, the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation, the important things has how to construct the quadratic equation, nature of the roots, and these are the very important things. And now coming to the formulas, the topic on coordinated geometry. If an angle theta is made between positive direction and m equal to tan theta, but what is actually here slope actually? Suppose if this is a ox y, this is x ordinate, this is y ordinate. If you draw a line, straight line here, y equal to ax plus b, and this is called the simple linear equation. We have represented in the help of coordinated geometry. If here A is called slope, B is called intercept. This A is called slope here, and this is the B distance. Okay, y equal to ax plus b. In this, suppose you want to find the distance between the point is x1, y1. Here x2, y2 is the slope line, straight line. For that, you want to find the distance between two lines, and here the slope you want to find without using that. The slope is difference of y ordinates by difference of x ordinates. And another important thing is the slope intercept from x by a plus y by b equal to 1. And so when we know the slope which is passing through the point x1 and y1, which can be expressed in the form of the equation y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1. Suppose we have the lines which is passing through the points x1, y1 and x2, y2. Then we want to find the equation y minus y1 by x minus x1 equal to y1 minus y2 by x1 minus x2. These are the important coordinate geometric formulas. Yeah. Next, the other important formulas in this coordinate geometry are: what are the conditions for when two lines are parallel, when the two lines are perpendicular also? Okay. When two lines are parallel, the condition is their slopes should be equal. When the two lines are perpendicular lines, their slopes is, that is, m1 into m2 equal to minus 1, or m1 equal to minus 1 by m2. And perpendicular distance between from P point is modulus of ax1 plus by1 plus c by square root of a square plus b square. These are the important concepts related to the chapter coordinate geometry. And one more thing I would like to advise to the students: in the coordinate geometry also, sometimes the calculus applications are also used actually. In the examination purpose, just when the equation, linear equation, they want to find the slope, the differentiation of the, suppose x is, differentiation of x means, with respect to x means, we have to find the slope of the equation. This is the concept. Simply differentiate that equation and we get the slope of the line. And you may find easily with the help of differentiation also. Now let us come to the topic: the simple interest and compound interest, effective rate of interest, annuity, and this chapter. And I am just simply coming to the chapter, directly to the chapter 4. Just before that, I want to just give the brief, the important questions in the inequalities chapter. What are the chapters may ask? Students, they have to understand the linear equation. What is the, if it is maximum condition, what are the equations are to follow? Less than or equal, and minimum, which is greater than or equal to. These are the inequalities conditions you have to follow, and simply you have to find the objective functions and then constraints accordingly in the case of inequalities chapter. One question may simple questions how to construct the question based on the given theoretical conditions of the production optimization problems. Now let us come to the interest rate chapters. That is like simple compound interest and effective rate of interest, annuity, future value, sinking fund. In these questions, each chapter, that is simple question interest, effective rate of interest, or compound interest, may one question, or annuity chapter, one question may arise in the examination. Students may feel that, sir, we don't have the calculators to do large values, and we don't have the most of the questions. If you look at the old question papers, are also the answers like 1 plus 10 whole to the power of 4, 1.05 whole to the power of 24. These kind of values are also given in the questions, in the question itself in the examination question paper. Simply, you have to apply the simple calculations only for that. And whereas in the simple interest chapter, just a simple interest formula, you are all know aware. Simple interest price into interest into time, and compound interest, whereas interest rate is also be added after some time to the principal, whereas in the simple interest, which is not added, which is constant forever. The compound interest also, the formula 1 plus I p into 1 plus I whole to the power of n, and depending upon the n value, that means period of time, the conversion periods would be added. And if it is 12 months, only 1 year, rate of interest also constant. If it is 6 months, the interest rate also divided, multiply 2i, and sorry, interest rate is divided into here 2 here, I by 2, and the time is multiplied into 2 here. And if interest rate is calculated quarterly, it is I by 4, and the time period also here multiplied 4 times. And like that way, students has to calculate all the conversion time, which is given in the study material, page number 4.1111 also. And effective rate of interest, simply that formula also given. What is the rate of interest? 1 plus I whole to the power of n minus 1. They have to find the effective rate of interest using the simple formula 1 plus I whole to the power of n. Then you can find the effective rate of interest value also. Then the annuity applications also here. The annuity regular, annuity immediate, when the payment of a receipt or end of the period, when the payment of the period at the beginning of the period, this is called annuity immediate. And we have to find the difference of these two types of annuities. And beginning payment is being paid at the end of the period, and which is called annuity regular, and second one is annuity immediate. And for this, the future values are also to be calculated accordingly. The formulas are also given. Next, present values, future value if given, find the present values also, and sinking fund, which is also based on the annuity applications. And this is already completed. And now I'm coming to the point of the chapter. This is an easy chapter also, sets, relations, and functions also. This set chapter is a simple chapter. Simply, students has to attempt the questions. The how many, suppose set is there, how many possible subsets are possible to prepare, how many proper subsets how many proper subsets, and how many equal sets, and how many sets are that, whether the set is equal sets, equivalent sets. These are the types of sets, coming to the types of sets. But whereas the question is asked in the examination point of view, is the important things is sets in the sets chapter, the types of functions, the types of sets, and Venn diagrams are also there, but you do not to find the Venn diagram, and what are the types of sets, that is singleton set, what is singleton, and the properties related to the sets theories, that is power set. What is power set means? The total number of subsets in the sets is called power set, which is called 2 to the power n ways. The formula also given, and which is you can find out in the study material also. And number of proper sets, every set is subsets itself, so it is a number 2 to the power n minus 1. And empty sets also be, if you look at the number of non-trivial sets, it's 2 to the power n minus 2. And De Morgan's law, where is we have the properties come to the sets theory, that is n of A union B equal to n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. And here, if you look at the formulas related to the De Morgan law, this is also very important formula. If you have the three sets also, the condition is different actually. That is n of A union B union C equal to n of A plus n of B plus n of C minus n of A intersection B minus n of B intersection C minus n of C intersection A plus n of A intersection B intersection C. Like that way, here we have two sets, and when the formulas are applied related to set theory, you have to remember these two formulas as well. And further, and De Morgan's law, which is A union B whole complement equal to A complement intersection B complement, A complement A intersection B whole complement equal to A complement union B complement. These are the important formulas. And further, A complement whole complement equal to A. These are all properties related to sets theory. Students have to remember these are the important formulas in the just they have to thoroughly understand, and then we can have the important. And whereas coming to the relation, n it is based on the functions and the relation, and using the set theory only. If A and B have two elements like Cartesian products, and n cross A cross B equal to n B cross A, which is equal to n of A into n of B. A relation is a subset of A cross B. In that, we have the types of relations are also mentioned in the study material, and that is types of relation is also very important. One, students, just if you look at the types of relation, these are very important questions may ask in the types of relation chapter also. What is the transitive relation, equivalence relation, and further the relation chapter will be used for the examination purpose also. Next, the various functions, what is domain and codomain, and further identity function, constant function, equal functions, and whether functions are not various types of one function, onto function. So bijective function means both one on the whether the function is one or onto function, and identity function, constant function. These are the types of functions. One has to understand these concepts. Before that, what is the condition for the satisfy the functions are also. Next, types of relations also we have discussed here. What is the symmetric, transitive, and reflexive relations? These are the three relations. If the three relations are satisfied, we can say that there is equivalence relation. Then it is a set satisfies that relation. So we can say that relation satisfies. One is called reflexive and transitive and symmetric. Now coming to these problems related to the permutation and combinations. The permutation combinations, students may fear about these concepts also. When they study what is permutation and what is combination also, they may fear that the about the concept also. Before that, actually, they don't study the permutation. What is permutation? Or the factorial also. The factorial means, suppose if I write the 3 factorial means 3 into 2 into 1 way. That is 6 ways I can arrange the things. The permutation, the way of arranging, selecting smaller or equal number of persons or objects from a group of persons or collection of objects with due regard to being paid to order of arrangements or selections. Here, order of arrangements or selections is called permutation section. Suppose there are n things. Out of these, r things need to be arranged, which can be possible in n into n minus 1, n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, etc. n minus r plus 1 ways it can be arranged. Suppose we want to arrange the 3 things out of t, 3 factorial by 3 minus 2 factorial. That is 3 factorial means 3 into 2 into 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 factorial is 1 into 1 only. And 3 into 2, 6 ways. So these 6 ways we can possibly arrange. And for this 0 factorial is 1, students has to remember this is also very important thing. And this is a NPR formula. And what are the circular permutation also? And circular permutation is also important. Suppose when the students are sitting in a dining table, or what is the possible of arrangement, and in a meeting also, what is the phase of attending also. In that case, the n minus 1 factorial is also applied. In the case of necklace or garland, the ways of arrangement of things is one is way is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So 2 ways, 1 by 2 into n minus 1 factorial. And like permutations, suppose if the things are arranged like the words from the word like Mississippi, banana, then we can select the like permutations, how many p's are there, how many q's are there, how many r's are there. That is n factorial by p factorial into q factorial into r factorial. This is related to the topic. Permutations are also. And once the students are advised that suppose the permutations are objects put n distinct objects when the particular object is always included. In that case, we can say that r into n minus 1 into p into r minus 1. Here, in the page number 5.10, theorem number 1 and theorem 2, you need not worry, go to the formulas, how it has come. Then simply the formula were applied. Relevant examples in the study material, we go through it, then easily understand the concept related to permutations also. Now coming to the concept on the combinations, that is, before that, the number of ways in which smaller or equal or things arranged or selected. Selection means here collection of things where order of selection or arrangement is not important are called combination. Order of things, selection of objects here. And Whereas arrangement of things in the NPR, the permutations. Suppose A, B, B, A. We can take only selection A, B only. That is in the case of combination only. Next time, suppose the 3C2 we want to arrange 3 factorial by 3 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. 3 factorial, 3 into 2 into 1 by 2 factorial is 1 and 2 factorial means 2 into 1. These two get cancelled and this is the 3 ways can be arranged. And NCR equal to NCN minus 1. That means 6C2 equal to 6C4. Like that way we can find. Suppose the two persons are the 2 seconds, how many seconds can be possibly there in a party? Suppose 16 for 8 persons are come. Like that way this formula can be applied. That is, and the important formula is usually in the combination is n plus 1 CR equal to NCR plus NC R minus 1. This is very important formula in the addition or multiplication, how can be possible. And using the permutation NPR equal to N minus 1 PR R into N minus 1 into P into R minus 1. If you look at the page number 5.21, these two formulas are given. This is also very important for the examination point of view. How can be done when in the case of additions with formulas related. And some standard formulas are also given using the permutations when some of the things like or like, then at a time, all at a time, and repeated once and repeated twice. These are the important questions related to permutation and combinations. Whereas coming to the chapter sequence and series, here we have two types of series: arithmetic progression. Whereas in the arithmetic progression, the difference of two terms, successive terms, are equal. That is, Tn equal to a plus the term n. If you want to find nth term, that is a plus n minus 1 into d, and sum of n terms of AP equal to n by 2, the 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and sum of if we know the first term and the last term, that is formula is n by 2 into a plus l. And so if you have the three terms, that is between the first and last terms, we have to put in the arithmetic means, then which is a plus b by 2. The arrangements can be a minus d, a plus d. We have to arrange the numbers like. And whereas geometric series means the ratio of two successive terms is equal, and the sum of n terms of nth term equal to a into r to the power of n minus 1 by r minus 1. In the case of r is greater than 1. If this is an infinite series, the sum of infinite series a by 1 minus r. And three numbers on GP, if we want to take the terms, if we want to insert between three GP, between three numbers of GP, we have to arrange that numbers a by r, a by r. Then geometric mean is square root of AB. And further, and the sum of first n terms of AB also, remember, n into n plus 1 by 2. Sum of the squares of first n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6, and sum of the cubes of first n into n plus 1 by 2 whole square. These are the important formulas related to this chapter. Further, already we have discussed the relations, types of relations also, and some important concepts related to the quantities A, M, GM, and HM also. AM is A plus B by 2, GM is square root of AB, and HM means harmonic mean 2AB by A plus B by 2. And the concept is odd function and even function. The odd function is f of minus x equal to minus f of x, which is called odd function, and even function means f of minus x equal to f of x, which is called even function. These are the two important types of functions, where just simply in the place of x in the function, if you get the minus f of that function, that is called odd function. If you get f of minus x equal to positively f of x, then it is called even function. This is also very important for the examination point of view. And when you look at the limits chapter, we have here the chapter number 8 is limits. What is the concepts of limit? Just you have to understand the concept of limit. After that, what are the various properties are also given. If we look at the 8.8 pages that related to exponents, that the formulas, the limit extends to 0, e power x minus 1 by x equal to 1. Limit extends to 0, a power x minus 1 by x log a base c. Limit extends to 0, 1 plus x by base 1 plus x by x equal to 1. Limit extends to infinity, 1 plus 1 by x whole to the power of x equal to e. And this is the B formula. Formula number B, that is 8.9. Students has to just look at this formula, very important for the examination point of view also. And in the case of here, the exponential number, the e value is here 2.717183. This is also very important for the examination point of view. And the formula is like log limit extend to n x to the power of n minus a to the power of n by x minus a equal to n into a to the power of n minus 1. Please look at the 8.8 page, all the formulas and illustrative examples in the limits also. And further in the one question may come in this limits question and continuity question, the chapter, what is continuity of a function? If the function exists both left hand and right hand, simply left hand means minus value, substitute x value minus sign, and positively x value for the right hand side. And if they all coincide at the point of that point on, then we call as continuity of a function. And coming to the chapter in the differentiation and integration, differentiation chapter, you have to study the concept, the formulas which are given in the study material page number 9.6. That is simple product rule, sum, difference, addition, and rules, and quotient formula also. Please refer the page number 9.6 in the study material, and you can easily understand the further solution also. And in similar way, in the integration chapter also, you can easily refer to the study material. That page number chapters like simple problems only we have to use. That is the page number 9.19. That is what is the basic concepts of integration of x power n dx equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. Like that, integration of 1 dx equal to x. The simple formulas only we have to attempt that integration of e power x equal to e power x dx equal to x e power x plus c. Here constant is there, and like that way integration of dx by x equal to log x plus c, and integration of a power x dx equal to a power x by log x base c plus c. These are the important formulas which are given in the study material itself. You need not worry about the trigonometric functions which are not part of the syllabus also. Now come to the chapter of statistics. Whereas in the first chapter, 10th chapter, what are the questions, important questions related to the statistical description of data. The statistical description of data, the questions may ask like that, what is the OG curve, and with the help of OG curves, what can be drawn, median or not? What is the frequency polygon curve? What is the histogram? These are the important questions may ask in the examination. And simple statistical definition, what is the primary data, types of secondary data also. Next, coming to the topic, the measures of central tendency. What is the types of measures, simple measures of central tendency? One is arithmetic mean, median, mode, geometric mean, harmonic mean. Then simply understand the concept one by one, and what is simple calculation of arithmetic mean? Sum of the observations by number of observations. What are the respective properties related to arithmetic mean, and what are the merits and demerits are there? Then simply go ahead with the merits and demerits. And median, median is middlemost value, where it is exactly used in the median. Median is called best measure for open end classification. Okay, and what are the this is also very important question. Open end classification. Arithmetic, among all the measures of arithmetic mean is the best measure of standard length. Mode means here number of items repeated. In the case of garments industry, shoemaking industry, mode is used. Whereas geometric mean, when the items are large, where we can take the logarithmic value, then we use the geometric mean applications. It is scientific applications. When the distance is constant, the speed varies. In that case, harmonic mean is used. And these are the ratios like GM and HMs are AMs are ratios, but it is rigidly defined and it is a mathematical properties. Mode is also simple application which is affected by sampling fluctuations also. Simply go ahead with the properties like some another important case using the mean. Some of the deviations from the respective mean is zero. Very important for the theoretical examination point of view. Some of the deviations from median is minimum. These are the very important questions. The theory questions. Just you have to understand the first all the properties related to mean, median, mode also, and then important property equal to there is a linear relationship between mean, median, mode also. Y equal to a plus bx also. In that also we have to apply. And what is the relationship between mean, median, and mode also? Mean minus mode equal to 3 times of mean minus median. 3 times of mean minus median. And this is a very important property related to mean, median, and mode. Mean minus mode equal to 3 times of mean minus median. Further, the dispersion topic, there is an absolute measure of and relative measures of dispersion. And we have here the types of measures of dispersion range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation also. Respective formulas are also, properties are also very important. What is the absolute measures here? If range equal to highest value minus lowest value, that is largest minus smallest here. And a quartile deviations are also here Q3 minus Q1 by 2. Here semi-quartile deviation also. And we can say that semi-quartile range also. Quartile range. And mean deviation equals somehow mean deviation from mean deviation from median, mean deviation from mode also be calculated. And standard deviation is square root mean deviation. And their properties are also given. You have to find. And here respective values are mentioned in the case of the relative measures of dispersion. And Just some students are raised the questions. Already I have been discussed in the first two slides itself. The most of the questions are asked like, if you look at my slides back, here what are the expected questions that may come from the every chapter, already given in the blueprint of the first two slides itself actually. How many chapters? There are 16 chapters. I have categorized into chapter wise how many expected questions are coming also, and most of the questions uh, which are asked is already discussed in the earlier slides. And some important concepts and the range which is related to quotient of range, quotient of MD, and for two numbers A and B, the range is my difference of numbers by 2. For some of the standard deviation of first n natural numbers is square root of n square minus n by 12. These are the important formulas in the quotient of quartile deviation, quotient of range, quotient of mean deviation, SD of two numbers, quotient of SD we call and this is called also CV as coefficient of variation also. Like that way, questions are important. And coming to the chapter correlation regression, what is scatter diagram is the easiest more measure. Correlation means the relationship between two variables, whether positive relation or negative relation or no relation. When the two variables x and y are increasing or decreasing in the same direction, there is a positive correlation. If they are increasing or decreasing in the opposite direction, we call it as a negative correlation. Here, measures of correlation is with the help of scatter diagram, Pearson's correlation coefficient, Spearman's rank correlation coefficient, and the method of concurrent deviation methods. These are the various methods of correlation, and various correlation lies between -1 to plus minus. And if it is -1, there is a perfect negative correlation between two variables. If +1 means perfect positive correlation between two variables. If r equal to 0, there is no correlation between two variables. And these are the important concepts related to correlation. Students has to understand the correlation concepts also important. And regression, what is the relationship between two variables, and the regression line y on x, x on y, and regression properties used as to how to find the values. And if you look at the page numbers in the study materials, the regression chapter, all important formulas are also very important. And the page number 12.17, the correlation chapter, correlations properties, Spearman's correlation properties, all very important. And coefficient of concurrent deviation also, what is the formulas has been mentioned, what is the C value, M value there, and the regression analysis, the formulas are also given. And what is the coefficient of determination, what is the coefficient of non-determination. These are all very, 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 very important for the examination point of view. Suppose 0.6 value is given. If you want to find the coefficient of determination value, 0.36, 0.6 R value is given 0.6. Then if you want to find the coefficient of determination, that is R square value, that is 0.36. Then 1 minus R square is 0.64. This is the coefficient of non-determination. This is coefficient of determination. These are the simple calculation formulas. And further, if two lines are coincide or identical, the conditions is R equal to +1 or R equal to -1. If two regression lines are R equal to -1 or +1, then two regression lines are coincide. And if they have the two problem like that, if the R equal, if the correlation between two variables under discussion, if R equal to 0, two regressions are perpendicular to each other. These are the conditions when using the two regression formulas. These are the very important MCQ formulas, that is coefficient of determination, non-determination, when the two regressions or lines are parallel or perpendicular each other, and further what is the conditions for the formulas for the correlation, and further Spearman's rank correlation properties and concurrent deviation properties are very important for the examination point of view. Here the formulas are also given, and properties of regression lines very important for the examination point of view also. And very examination, when the what is the regression equation, y on x, x on y, in that case also very important. And covariance of xy, the slopes of two regression equations are all the same sign. This is very important, son. And while deciding the two regression, which is x on y, which is x y on x, and this is also very important. And coming to the probability chapter, which is the addition theorem, multiplication theorem, and if two independent, probability of A and B equal to probability of A and probability of B minus probability of A intersection B, probability of A and B, A intersection B equal to probability of A into probability of B, probability of A intersection B equal to probability of A into probability of B given here. And expected value of questions, expected value calculated is also with respect to variables x1 into p1, x2 into p2, xn into pn, and variance of x equal to, the expected value is nothing but mean, and variance of x equal to expected value of x minus mean whole square, and further from this, where square root value is standard deviation we can find. And we have the probability distributions like binomial, Poisson distribution, and normal distribution are also there. And in the binomial distribution, what is the types of distribution? Here the types of distributions are discrete distribution and continuous distribution. In the discrete distribution, binomial distribution is a one kind, and Poisson distribution is also part of discrete distribution. Continuous distribution, normal distribution only here. And further, the properties of animation parameters are n and p, mean is np, variance is npq, and mean is greater than variance, and unimodal or bimodal. And here the additive properties. If you look at the properties, the binomial distribution properties you have to study carefully, and Poisson distribution and parameter is lambda. In the case of accidents in a very busy road, and errors in the study material, standard study material, and these are the applications of Poisson distribution. And mean and variance are equal, special property of Poisson distribution, positively distributed, and it is mode and unimodal cases, and unimodal and bimodal cases never symmetrical. And if you look at the properties, additive properties are also applied. And normal distribution, mean equal to median equal to mode, and symmetrical. Curve is bell shaped. Quartile deviation equal to 4/5 of the standard deviation. Mean deviation equal to 2/3 of standard deviation. And please look at the properties given in the study material, and all are very important. And please look at the examples given in the study material also in this chapter. And further, you can easily understand the concept. The properties are very important, and you have to once understand the properties, you easily attempt the examination related to these chapter questions. And sampling, what is sampling? Simple population and sample, parameter and statistic, and types of sampling: simple and random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic sampling. Sampling distribution: infinite sample, simple random sampling, with replacement, without replacement. And questions are also given in the study material. If you look at this chapter, you can easily get one question from this chapter. And please thoroughly and go to the page number 15.7. The concept like a standard error. Standard error is very important. The standard error is a sampling. The standard error is Very important concept, and this is very important for the examination point of view. And further, simple random sampling without replacement, simple random sampling with replacement with related to proportions, with related to the means are also given in the study material. And what is finite population correction also? If you look at the page number 15.8, the finite FPC, finite population correction also, just simply remember the formula, the square root of n minus n by square root of n minus 1, which is called as the population, finite population correction also. These are all very important for the examination point of view. Here, this is called the finite population correction. And if you look at the examples, 15.1, 15.2 are also very important for the examination point of view. And estimation, there is point estimation and interval estimation. Here, the types of estimation are also given. Only the estimation based on the interval estimation is given in the study material examples. And what is the ideal estimator also given? If we unbiasedness, consistency, sufficiency, if it is follows, we can say that this is a sufficient estimator. One student has given the question related to the differentiation using the formula. Now the time is to give. Actually, if you further have any doubt, you can mail to my mail ID nvravi at ica.in. You can mail me. I can send the solution. Here, objective is how to face the examination only. In the what are the important questions can be easily attempted. The sample mean is ideal estimator or not. Unbiasedness, consistency, efficiency, and sufficiency. If all this satisfied, we can say that this is ideal estimator. This is also very important theory question for the examination point of view. And further, in this topic, what is sample size also given? And if you thoroughly look at the chapters like simple random sampling with replacement, without replacement, and types of samples, all theory questions, some of the simple questions only, and then you can easily attempt this chapter also. Whereas they come to the last chapter, the index numbers here classified into weighted and unweighted and weighted index numbers. In the weighted index numbers, last pair, Cauchy's versus and Marshall-Edgeworth index numbers are also here. The last pair's index number is based on the price index number, that is sigma P1 Q0, that is based on the current base year quantities as weights, and Cauchy's quantity index number based on the current year quantities as weights, and Fisher's index numbers is nothing but geometric mean of class pairs and Cauchy's index number, and Marshall-Edgeworth index number also given in the study material, which is based on the average of the quantities of the base year quantity as well as the current year quantities. And some of the quantity, we have the price index numbers also, chain base index numbers are also given, which is you have to find only, you have to remember the formula. You need not worry about the calculation of the chain index also. Only students has to remember the chain index, how can be used in the formula. Further, quantity index numbers are also given, value index numbers, and how further deflated value can be calculated also given in the study material. Further, the last is tests of adequacy. There are 4 types of tests of adequacy. Is there unit test, time reversal test, factor reversal test, and circular test. The simple geometric mean of price relative unweighted aggregate with fixed weights meet this circular test, whereas time reversal test and factor reversal test are satisfied by Fisher's index number. So we can call as Fisher's index number is called an ideal index number, which is very important for the examination point of view also. Students has to remember the important questions in this chapter are as follows. Again repeat. What is the last pair index number, which is based on the base year quantities as weights. What is Ashish index number, which is based on the current year quantities as weights. Fisher's index number is nothing but geometric mean of last pairs and Ashish index number. We call as geometric mean of L and P, which is called ideal index number also. Marshall Edgeworth index number is based on the average of current year quantity and base year quantities. And further, what are the tests of adequacy and unit test? In the test requires the formula should be independent of the units in which for which price quantities are quoted, except for the simple unweighted aggregate index number. All other formulas satisfies this test, and time reversal test also P01 into P01 into P10 equal to time reversal test is time reversal test P01 into P10 equal to 1. Then factor reversal test is P01 into Q01 equal to V01, that is volume index number, that is sigma P1 Q1 by sigma P0 Q0. Both tests are satisfied the Fisher's index number, so we called as it is an ideal index number also. And further circular test is also very part of it, that is P01 into P10, like that way it is increases. In that it is only the simple geometric mean of price relatives only satisfies this test. So with this, I conclude this section chapter-wise. All the questions, how it can be asked in the examination point of view also explained here. If you have further any queries, students may call the working days, office hours between 9:30 to 5:30, 0120-3045-99949. This is direct landline to this number, or you can post your queries to email nbravi@ica.in. Thank you very much.